Go ahead and open GameMaker 8.0 and click on Continue Using the Light Edition and close out any tutorials or examples. Highlight and copy the game information. Toggle back to GameMaker. Double-click on the game information folder and use the paste icon to paste in your game information. And when you're finished, click on the green check mark. For this game, we're going to need a block and a clown sprite. For the background, you're just going to choose your own color. For the sound, you're going to have a sound effect and background music. For the objects, we're going to have a block, a clown, but also music. And for the room, we're going to create just one room. Click on the red Pac-Man icon and click Load Sprite. Choose any of the blocks provided, like the green one, and uncheck Remove Background and click Open. And then rename this sprite to sprite_block and click OK. We're going to do the clown the same way. Click Load Sprite, choose the clown, click Open, and rename it sprite_clown and click OK. Click on the megaphone and click Load Sound. Backtrack to your Game Resources folder to the Sound Effects folder and choose a sound effect. Any sound effect is fine. Like I'm choosing the doorbell and open it. I'm going to rename this then sound_doorbell. You can listen to it with the play button and then click OK. Go back to your megaphone, load sound. I'm going to back up one folder to my background musics folder and then click on a background music and rename this music_background. And then I'm going to click OK. Click on the blue sphere, and from the drop-down menu, choose Sprite Block. Rename this object Object Block, and choose the solid option, and then click OK. Create another object. This time it's the clown. Name it Object_clown, and click OK. And the third object is going to be music, Object_music. Music is something you hear, not something you see. That's why there's no sprite, and click OK. The only thing you'll have to do for Object Block is to make sure it's solid. The next thing is to create the clown moving in a random direction. Then when the clown bumps into a block or collides with it, it'll bounce off. When the player catches the clown, it will play a sound. The clown will jump to a random position, and then it will move randomly. It will also give you a score of 1. And then when the game starts, music will be playing in the background. Click on your plus sign for your objects folder and double-click your object block. Make sure that this is checked solid. That's what this means right here. And we're going to add no event and no action. No event and no action for this particular object. Click OK. Now we're going to create this sequence right here, the clown, create, and move. That's how you read it. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to double click my clown. I'm going to add an event called create. I'm going to go to my move tab, which corresponds to this move tab here. I'm going to go to move. When I hover over this, it says move fix. I'm going to drag and drop it here. And a random direction is all of these arrows. And then this middle one is stop, so we're not going to choose that one. We're going to choose it to move randomly. And then at the speed of 4. And relative is false, meaning it's unchecked. Click OK. Next, we're going to have the clown collide with the block and bounce off. So we're on the clown object. We're going to add an event called collision with block. And we're going to go to the move tab, go to jump and bounce, drag and drop it. This should match the directions, self, not precisely, solid objects. Click OK. Next, when the player catches the clown with the mouse, these 4 things are going to happen. So we're going to program those. So we're going to add an event called mouse left pressed. We're going to go to the main 1 tab, which corresponds to this main 1 tab. Pull out the sound, the megaphone, play sound. This time we're going to choose our doorbell or the sound effect you chose, and we're going to loop it false so it plays only 1 time. Click OK. Then we're going to proceed to the Move tab and look for jump to random. Jump to random is this one here with the question mark. We're going to click and drag that over. We're going to say self, 0, 0. Click OK. Then we're going to move it in a fixed direction, but randomly. So we're going to pull the red arrows out again, hit random. This time the speed, we're going to increase the speed by 1 every single time. So every time you catch the clown, it moves faster and faster. And if you want that to be done, then you check the relative box here, which adds 1 to the speed each time. Click OK. And finally, we're going to go to the tab called Score, which corresponds to this score down here. We're going to drag and drop new score, or I'm sorry, set score. The new score is going to be 1, but since we wanted to add 1 each time, we check the relative box, so it adds 1 to your score each time. Click OK. Well, that's all the programming you need for the clown, so I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to open up my object music. And I'm going to add an event called create. Go to my main 1 tab. Choose sounds. This time I'm going to choose the background music. And I'm going to loop it true. Looping it true means that it will repeat itself once it's finished. And then I'm going to click OK. And that's all you need for the music. So I'm going to click OK here. Continue following the directions to create the room. You're going to click this icon right here that is used to create a room. And you're going to maximize the room and change your grid settings to snap 32 by 32 pixels. Right now it's at 16. We're going to change that to 32 by 32. Click the Backgrounds tab and make sure that Draw Background Color is listed. I'm going to click in the gray box and choose a color. Let's say green, for example. Then I'm going to click on my Objects tab and click in this area here, and you're going to see a drop-down menu with your objects. I'm going to choose Object Block and place Object Block in the room. You could hold down your Shift key and add more while you're left dragging. And I'm going to maximize this here so you can see the whole room. And then I'm going to go back to my objects and choose the clown and place the clown in the room. And also, we're going to change over to object music and put that in the room, which it's represented by a little question mark here. That will put music in the room and it will start playing at the beginning of your game. So in order to check this out to see if it runs, you're going to click on your green check mark, and then you're going to click on Run Game, which is the green arrow. It'll go ahead and load up your game. And you need to catch the clown. And there is your first game.